Well, if you're watching this on the playlist, you would have just seen this vlog, or if you're watching them in order, you would have just seen this vlog, which means that I'm up to date. I literally just finished editing this. It's time for the camera to go out of focus. It is about 3:30 in the afternoon, because yes, I'm home a little bit early, but we're caught up. Once again, all the vlogs up to this point that aren't like ridiculously old are edited. Hooray. I'm no expert, but it appears that my wife is playing golf with your friends.
I'm no expert at golf with your friends. It's like either I end up getting par, or I end up being like okay around par, or I end up being like wildly out of control. Because that's golf with your friends.
Anyway, we finished Catherine last night, so without spoiling it, what did you think of the game?
I actually really liked Catherine. It was a really, really weird game, so you have to be into weird games, but it's actually really interesting and really weird.
So we've only seen one ending. We got the Catherine good ending. Catherine with a K, that is, basically.
So many girls named Catherine. Too many girls named Catherine.
Yeah, we got the Catherine with a K good ending, but not the true. So, do you have interest in seeing the other endings, the 12 other endings?
Oh yes, I definitely want to see the 12 other endings. I am now that I've gotten a good ending, I'm like wanting to know what a bad ending or a chaotic ending is like, and I'm excited.
Or one of the true endings?
Or one of the true endings, yeah. Because it was just a good ending that I got. Oh no, I ran out of time.
Let's go off with your friends in a nutshell. Okay, so I know today has mostly been about Catherine so far, but I figured I'd take an extra couple minutes to talk about because it's still most of what today has been about. Apologize if I'm flushed. I turned the air conditioner off to do this. So it's going to get progressively hotter, so when I say quick, I'm going to try to actually make it quick. Sarah's still playing it right now because it is really good. So, and also this will be spoiler-free talk, so if you're like, yeah, maybe I want to play this game because it's a story-based game, you're not going to want to spoil it. Don't do it. Don't go look up all the endings, at least until you know the plot. It's not worth it. I mean, if you have no other way to do it, yeah, fine. But overall, I do really recommend people play this game for themselves, as long as you have at least some interest in story-based games. And I'm pausing for a second because it's very hard for me not to call this an interactive movie, because for the most part it really is, especially if you have no interest in doing the puzzles and you just want to make it.
It's also framed very much like an interactive movie.
Yeah, because if you ignore the puzzles, and you can, if you set the difficulty all the way down and just skip through everything, you 100% can ignore all the puzzles and just treat it like it's a movie where you're making all the choices. And there are a lot of choices to make, like I think I mentioned earlier. Again, not spoiling any of them, but there are 13 different endings. And I mean, some of them do only vary a little bit, but some of them vary wildly from the next, and there's new endings in this new game that vary wildly from the ones in the old game. So, yeah, and just to bring everybody up to speed, Catherine Original was released on PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360. This is Catherine Full Body that we're playing, that was released now on PS4, PS Vita if you're in Japan, but that's not in English, and soon on the Switch. I'm not sure off the top of my head what the release date is for that. I'm going to actually look that up. July 7th, so in a month and a day, it gets released on the Switch. And again, we've really had a lot of fun with this. I was saying to Sarah, this is made by the same people who made Persona. So if you're into the Persona level storyline, you're going to love this game. If you're kind of like, yeah, I don't like this at all, then yeah, skip over it. But it is a really good game, and you can tell that this is just a work of love from those creators. It's a lot of voice actors who did a lot of work in the Persona series. Like Atlas is really good at working with these voice actors, and they've really got a lot of the writing down. They got a lot of their voice talent down. It's people that they're familiar with, and the writing is really good. And they really nailed this. And like I was saying with Full Body, as opposed to the regular Catherine, it really does feel like they just took the opportunity to not necessarily rewrite it. I did say they rewrote it yesterday, and there are parts that do obviously have to be a little bit rewritten, but you know, as someone who was familiar with the original game, now is playing this for the first time, there's still enough there to really justify it. And like, if you were between like Catherine the original and Persona 5 the original, and you're like, well, I only have to upgrade one of the two games. As much as I love Royal, the differences in Catherine almost make upgrading from Catherine to Catherine Full Body worth more than upgrading from regular Persona 5 Royal to, or regular Persona 5 to Persona 5 Royal, if that makes any sense. This game is phenomenal. I really can't stress that enough. If you have any interest at all in a visual novel, or I mean even just games that play out cinematically and that can tell an excellent story, then you really should try to play this game. I believe, I'm not 100% certain on this, but I believe at least the original game is compatible with the Xbox One, the Xbox One series of consoles via the backwards compatibility. The PlayStation 3 version is not, but you can play full body on the PS4. And I don't know if you're one of the weird people who only had a review, which I was in that camp for a while, which is why I've taken so long to play this. If you're wondering, if you're just randomly finding this and you're like, why is he talking about this game that's been out for years, it's because I didn't have a PS4 until recently. So there you go, Switch people, you have a month, and honestly, it's so good. Ah, shit. Okay, well, I realized about 5 minutes ago, like 10 minutes ago, is that something on the dates wasn't lining up, and then I made an incorrect calculation in some of the dates with like day numbers versus vlog days. And I have like a spreadsheet that totals it up for like 10 years of what the day and date number would be, just in case for like stretches that it didn't fall apart, but I didn't know where that was, so I had to remake the spreadsheet today. And I based my calculations off of, I always just base it off of the start of the vlog, but I made a mistake in the spreadsheet, and I just realized that I screwed up the date, but it wasn't as bad as I thought, because I thought that I made the mistake a while ago, and that I was counting off of a previous earlier mistake when I made further mistakes, but the only mistakes I made on vlog date numbers were today. So I know I'm sitting here being like, oh, I uploaded all the vlogs today, and then anybody who's watching this in the meantime is going to be like, but nothing came out today. Well, at least not on time, and that's because I have to go pull everything that I worked on today. It's only the vlogs I finished today, thankfully. I think it's the 4 from the middle of April, and yesterday's, and the day before. Because I realized that when I was organizing footage, and I was like, something doesn't line up here. And all it really is fixing a text box. I'm just going to private them for now so I can copy the video information, I guess. Oh, I really don't want to redo all this work, but I can't be lazy. Small type is going to bite me in the butt. And I could sit here and re-edit everything, but it's also 11 o'clock at night, and I was already being like, okay, well, I need to get back to work, or I need to get to sleep so I can get to work. But well, there goes some of today's work done the journey. Thankfully, it's not very much, and I do keep my edit files, so I can go back in there and do it, and it will be a simple change once I get around to doing it. But I don't have time to export everything and re-upload because it will take me another half an hour, and I really need to be asleep. I need to be asleep like now, but here we are. I've been working on organizing files for the interim between January 2018 is where the last hiatus of the vlog started, the last real hiatus to where I started off. So I've been organizing all of the footage because I still shot for a very significant bit out of that. So especially from January into April, I still have a lot of footage there. Some of it is missing, but from what I do have, I'm trying to organize that all down so that now that we're all caught up, I can start editing that. And once I have that all organized, it'll be a lot easier to edit, because it's I'm dragging my feet because it's all not organized and blah, blah, blah. No, I put it all in a file, get it all organized by things, and I need to get compressor on this computer as soon as possible because I need to transcode some of those files, but everything that's from a DSLR or something like that, I can just already organize, and I have been. But I found that mistake, but things are getting pretty organized, but I need to get to bed because it's already late. Not happy with that mistake today, but at least it's not as bad because it's only today's work. I was thinking that this was going to go back several months when I first spotted it. Thankfully, it's not that bad.